The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10, and he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Packer offense led by number 12, Aaron Rodgers, and the Pack in an unfamiliar position this year. They have not made the playoffs for 2 years running. 6-9-1 a year ago, and now with a new head coach in Matt LaFleur, no guarantee certainly that they'll play meaningful football in January this year. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. This complete to Jones. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Go, go, go.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
One thing for us to keep in mind and remember, they're coming off of their open week last week. They got to sit home and relax a little bit before the final stretch of the season. They got the lucky draw because every team in the league wants to have that open week later in the year rather than early. They benefited.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. Now a first down carry by Jones. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Well, it didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
So now they operate back from their side of the field here. 2nd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Open man is Allison, complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 31-yard line.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you've got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback, or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bump them off of their routes, chip away at their timing so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. He wants it all, and he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. J'Mon Moore, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive. Maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Niners now to get their first drive. They'll be led out by a man who rewrote Brett Favre's passing records at Southern Miss. It's Nick Mullins. Mullins and the Niners now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. And the starting crew now for San Francisco.
And I think we'll see a renewed sense of urgency out of this team this week because they have to make sure they don't waste this homestand. They had a home game last week, lost it. Now they've got the second straight. They've got to take advantage of it, get a win before they head out on the road.
This is Breida. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Ready. 50, minus 50. Hey, man. Watch the boot.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Blake Martinez, the NFC's leading tackler a year ago, in on the stop. Here's 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
On is the rookie 4th-rounder Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Time here to remind you that coming up later tonight on Sunday Night Football, it's the Seahawks and the Eagles from Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And then tomorrow night on Monday night, more Birds with the Ravens involved in that one. Sadly not taking on the Cardinals or Falcons, though. Instead, they'll match up with the Rams in L.A. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing is Rodgers. Complete to Jones. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 14. Here's Rodgers. Open here is Allison. That's complete. And he'll be stopped here well short of the 1st down at the 24-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up. But you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we've got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41.
Ready,
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Watch the shit.
Now it's Breida. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's now 10 of 10, throwing the ball here to start the game. Rodgers on the money to the tight end, Graham. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts. as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Rodgers now 11 for 11. Perfect in this opening half. It's 1st and 10. Rodgers to throw once more. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Got a man, that's Allison. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Rodgers now on 1st down. The connection made. It's Graham. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And again, it's Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up. And we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down. Second and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Going up top. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. Looking to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
Now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. DeForest Buckner, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. To throw, it's Rodgers. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Well, just like you said, they've got the lead, don't do anything silly, run the football, and that's what they did.
They would have liked to have created a little more room for their punter, but he'll take what they gave him, and he'll go out there now and try and get the ball off and help his defense.
Here's J.K. Scott now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a 1st down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 for the Niners there and a 1st down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Go now, 50, plant.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And this is Selleck here with a grab. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. They run with Breida, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Get up. Ready.
They're going to look to throw. He finds McKinnon, complete. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 31-yard line. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
2nd and 5. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. He'll look to throw. A dump down to McKinnon.
That's it, baby.
Last year's NFL leader in field goal percentage, Robbie Gould, on for the Niners field goal. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Rodgers throwing quickly out to Adams. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing now is Rodgers. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. First down would have been nice, but now you get to kick the field goal, still go up 2 scores.
They tried to get it, though, didn't they? Threw the pass, got the completion just short of the 1st down, but you're exactly right. Run the field goal unit out there, kick it, put it through the post, go up 2 scores.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And we've seen drive after drive come up empty for them, and they've yet to dent the scoreboard, yet still right in the middle of a 1-score game.
So this is where you absolutely have to forget everything that's happened in your previous drives. They don't matter right now. You just mentioned it. 1-score game. This drive here can erase all of what happened previously.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. And he'll be out right at the 35. 15 for the Niners there and a 1st down. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going. So, I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play out of while you've got them rocked on their heels.
Mullins now, 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down.
Here we go.
Second and 9 now. Open man is born. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 8 yards in the completion, but now they face third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. On play action, they'll throw. And he hits his man, Matthews. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. Yeah, it looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. They'll set up to throw. A dump down to McKinnon. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a 2nd down. Here's a 2nd and 7. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to have a 3rd down. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. He's got his man. It's Kendrick Bourne. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 for the Niners there and a 1st down. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. He'll look to throw. And he will find his receiver, Pettis, for a 49ers touchdown. Dante Pettis, his first touchdown on the year, as they can now tie the game with the extra point here in the final 2 minutes. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the post, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime. Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all. Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish. You obviously don't have a flight to catch. Tomorrow. Critical extra point up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football. But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest. Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down. Now it's Rodgers. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
After the penalty, it's Jones. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. They'll go again to Jones. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the fourth, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
So now the Niners down by a field goal, a minute 8 to go. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Got the connection here to Bourne. They'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. He's back to throw. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. The 49ers moving hastily. They're scurrying to the line. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. Mullins and the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Back to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander.
Let's go. Interception, baby. Let's go.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like open up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You loved the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So for Green Bay, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll have another road date next week with the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they drop their 7th game on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with